Well, recent history shows that given globalization of economic flows, of information, of international travel, the situation of citizens on the other side of the planet affects the situation of citizens in our own countries. Let me take a few examples. The Ebola crisis was a sanitary crisis in Western Africa that threatened international health, including in the United States and in Europe. Fighting to avoid the risk of Ebola pandemics taking hold again in Africa is also a way to protect citizens in Europe. When we are fighting against Ebola, are we doing it for citizens in Africa, or are we doing it for citizens in Europe? We're actually doing both at the same time, and these are projects and programs sustaining public health system that have other effects, obviously, because when a health system is strong, then there are less women dying in childbirth and less kids dying due to different pandemics. So we don't have to choose between saving lives in Africa and protecting Europe or the United States from risks such as sanitary risks. Another example is political risks. We've seen with the crisis in Mali, for example, and in other areas of the Sahel, how underdevelopment of peripheral areas in these countries create zones where there is no rule of law and where terrorists can gain hold. This is a risk first and foremost for the security and the economic perspectives of the Malians, of these citizens of Sahelian societies. But we've also seen that this impacts the security of France, of the United Kingdom, of Europe, and other countries in the world. So once again, when we're working on concrete development issues in towns in northern Mali, such as Kidal or Timbuktu, we're working for the populations who are present in these towns. We're also working for the security of citizens throughout the world. Another example of the connection of destinies is obviously environmental issues. Climate change is a global phenomenon which impacts countries in the north as well as in the south. In fact, societies of the south are the most vulnerable to climate change, but they're also elements of the answers to climate change. Typically, AFD finances projects and programs to reduce deforestation in the Congo Basin. This produces effects, social effects, for the people in the countries of the region because it allows them to continue hunting in the forests for their livelihoods, for example. But it obviously also reduces the impacts of climate change globally. So these investments are investments that work for the populations in Africa as well as for the mankind generally.